What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the Venom movie. So it's getting close to Sony Pictures releasing the Venom movie on October the 5th. We now have the official rating, which is PG-13, which is good and bad. It's bad because this movie was made, we were sold the story that it was going to be an R-rated movie. So we would see Venom ripping heads off just like we did in the trailer. But what it does mean now is every time Venom rips a head off or tears someone's head off, we're just going to hear it and not see it. Although the director says it will be pushing the barriers of what PG-13 is, realistically it's not going to be X-rated at all. Although the director did say somewhere down the line they could release an R-rated version for the Venom movie, which is interesting. So obviously making it PG-13 means they can make a lot more money on it because obviously Venom's really popular, and it means kids can go watch it, and that's probably the main reason. So there were rumors from Collider last year saying that Peter Parker was going to show up in the movie. Now their main reason for making it PG-13 is supposedly so Spider-Man could show up in the movie at some point. But this is where it gets a bit confusing because obviously Spider-Man is owned by Sony, but at the moment MCU, Kevin Feige has a deal with Amy Pascal that Spider-Man is technically part of the MCU. So if they're making their movie PG-13 so Spider-Man can show up at some point, there could be some chance of Spider-Man actually showing up inside this movie. Now the director of the movie has repeatedly said this: I can't tell you the answer. I know what's happening in the movie, I've seen the movie, but I don't want to get myself in trouble. So either he's just teasing people into thinking Spider-Man's actually going to show up in this movie, or they do have plans later on the line. Tom Hardy, when asked the question, do you want to fight Tom Holland Spider-Man, he said yeah, cool. And obviously Tom Holland, when he was asked questions about fighting Tom Hardy Venom, he was like yeah, cool. So they both want to fight each other, but the problem they have is one's in the Venom verse in Sony and one's in the MCU verse Marvel. But obviously the deal they have for Marvel to use Tom Holland Spider-Man will end after, I believe, Spider-Man Far From Home, or is it the third movie? I think it might be another I think it's Spider-Man 3. I think it's going to end after that. But either way, they do own the character of Spider-Man, so they could actually bring in a different version of Spider-Man like Miles Morales if they realistically wanted to, because although they have the deal with Sony, Spider-Man is still owned by Sony. So guys, are you disappointed that the movie's not going to be R-rated like we were sold? It possibly means they've changed the story slightly. I'm still really excited for the movie and I can't wait to go watch it in October, but I am a bit disappointed that it will be just a PG-13. But it is great news for you Spider-Man fans, which is most people in the world realistically. If we go by the amount of people that have been talking about Spider-Man PS4 in the last week, everyone is talking about how good that game is. So everyone knows that Spider-Man is such a important and popular franchise. So Venom, they would be stupid not to include anything to do with Spider-Man, even if they just include an Easter egg towards Spider-Man or some kind of reference to Spider-Man, because seriously, Venom can't exist without Spider-Man, a bit like the Flash can't exist without the Reverse Flash. So anyway guys, I will catch you in another video very soon, but first let me know what you think about this news. If you do want to enter my MCU Infinity War Blu-ray, just let me know who is the worst hero in the MCU, the worst hero, not the best hero, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.